Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Weekend Forecast for the weekend of April 20th and 21st, 2013. I'm astrologer David Palmer, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, this is a wonderful weekend as we have shifted gears big time, right? We've got the Sun and Mars in Taurus, which has moved in together. This has really been a big shift of energy. I mean, as I'm sure you know, you felt the extreme energies coming into the weekend, and then Friday night, just things kind of went, oh, thank you. That's because all this earth energy has been really grounding us now, really starting to settle the fire. But it's interesting that Saturday, the moon is still in Leo, finishing up to find the love of self. And whenever you have a moon in Leo, and whenever you have Taurus energy, or just Taurus Leo, you know, this is really starting to define really what's worth our life. You know, what do we love? What are we here to do? I mean, it's like this really positive, beautiful energy of like manifesting what you love in your life, understanding what you love in your life. You know, it can be, you know, okay right now to be selfish for what you want. This is actually a time to see what it is you need in your life. What is it that you feel that you, well, in a way deserve? That's really that Taurus Scorpio energy. You know, it is understanding what you deserve, what you need. This is very instinctual to the human essence of survival, right? I mean, it's like you need to have things in your life. And this is going to start to highlight what is it you need, what is it that you've been putting your values in. And it's interesting because, you know, now we have Mars, Venus, and the Sun, which have all been in this Taurus energy now, to really start stirring this pot of what is it that we need? What is my own value, myself, you know? You probably might now understand what you need to do, where you're ready to go. It's whether or not you have the means and the confidence of self, or the feeling inside of yourself to go get it. That's what all this energy is. You know, we have 3 powerful eclipses coming up starting next week. We have a big full moon lunar eclipse that's happening on the 25th, which is coming up here in the next week. We are starting a big powerful close, you know, a chapter close of the last 6 months from what happened in November of last year in 2012. All this energy that we've been through for the last 6 months is starting to close, and this is going to be the highlight of all this. There's going to be so much to figure out what your needs are. What do you need resourcefully in order to get your needs? This is what life is all about now. Understanding it and getting the message from Spirit of what all that was the easy part. I'd say we're stepping into the hardest part, which is to understand what we need and, more importantly, what we want. You know, also, what do we truly desire? What do we truly feel that we need in order to feel like the most valuable person? This is also highlighting a very important part of whenever you start to look into this energy, you will start to feel the real physical nature of your life, to feel things on a whole different level. And we're not talking just about your emotions when you cry. We're talking about a physical attachment or understanding of a feeling. The earthiest of all feelings. You know, when you go out into nature, this is really that feeling when you're in nature and you're feeling the birds and the bees and starting to feel the cycle and the wind on your face. Like, this is the energy we start to feel out. It's time for us to raise our vibration to the most beautiful things in our life, to raise it to things that we need that are beautiful, but making sure that they're in alignment with what we truly desire in our life. And I think that this weekend then the moon comes into Virgo, which is going to bring this nice reality check to things. Especially, it's going to really start to add this grand trine effect to Pluto and Capricorn and to all this energy. And I really think Sunday is a powerful day to really feel this new earthy energy, to really start to feel that life can be stable again, that you can start to stabilize your life, to understand where you need to go, what is beautiful, what your desires are, but more importantly, knowing that it's within yourself, that it's understanding the reality that you need to be in, that it's understanding that it's going to take extreme changes of the structure of your life in order to get the most valuable life possible. And it's also going to take your heart. This weekend also unveils that it's going to take the self-love, that it's going to take all this abundance that you're going to need to have also in a new mind and seeing in the bigger picture of things. And actually, with Mercury, which is going to square Pluto, you can't be afraid to really leave the old structure behind. You have to mentally not be afraid either. You need to see what the epiphany was, just like what happened. Well, they just caught the person in the whole Boston shooting. You know, this is like a lot of stuff is starting to happen, but you can't be afraid of it. You got to face any fears. You got to step into this new structure, and you got to use all of your smart and intellects to really understand who you are and keep pushing forward, and to step into the freedom of the new self and to let go of that old system and to not be so obsessed around the control of the way things should go, because it's going to take the freedom and the breaking free of the old system of control for you to understand where you need to go. And to tap all of this off, I know a lot of information. Spiritually speaking, the compassion is going to show you where to put your values in. The spiritual energy as well. Even in the stuff that you truly desire, there's a spiritual connection to all of it. That's what Neptune's doing in Pisces, as it's connecting with the nodes, how it's connecting with all the energy in Taurus and in Scorpio, to have us find a new spiritual understanding, a new compromise of self, a new compromise to compassion, to have us really feel out our true spiritual energy in order for us to go in the right direction of what's valuable, of what we feel we need, what resources do we need in life. And it's only going to be based off if we have the right values to resourcefully get from, right? If you're going to value cocaine and get cocaine from people, like, this is time where it's like, oh God, you got to really make sure that cocaine is the most valuable thing in your life. So I know that's the weirdest analogy of all time. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, for a one-on-one reading. I am adding huge new eclipse readings to my website. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com. I'll put more about it on Monday, but I have to do this. We are all stepping into a very gnarly end of chapter, but also the beginning of another one with the 3 eclipses that are coming up in the next month. Literally, this is less than a month away. It's from April 25th to May 25th. Yeah, so it's like right there. It's a lot of energy, a lot. So this is going to be the month to really start to see why you've been going through what you've been going through the last 6 months, but more importantly, to define why in the hell you're in this position after December 21st, 2012. Lot to ponder. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow.